Just take a look at this. Isn't our city gorgeous? This is the birthplace of the skyscraper. Well, walking around our city, how much do you really know about Chicago's greatest buildings? A local author's latest work is all about the glory of Chicago's skyline and its various iterations over more than 150 years.
You live here, you ought to know about all the beautiful buildings and why we are called the city of architecture. The one behind you is the Elks Memorial, and it was built in 1924. The architect was the guy who won a competition, and his name is Ellen Shubart, and I hope I pronounced that correctly. It's a memorial and headquarters for the Benevolent Order of the Elks. It was built to honor the war veterans of World War I. It's been rededicated, now it honors all Elks who have died in wars all the way on up to Afghanistan and whatever else is going on in the world. It's a Roman dome with a lovely colonnade around it, and they've got beautiful incised friezes of different people and things that all have to do with the aiding of people that the Elks do. Well, Northeastern Illinois University El Centro Center is the full name of that building, and it was designed to be a classroom building. But I think everybody will recognize it as when you drive along on the Kennedy Expressway. If you go in one direction, it looks blue, and if you go in the other, it looks yellow. This is a contemporary look at what kinds of things can be done to schoolrooms, to classrooms. The actual classroom section is on the inside, so it's away from the sound of the highway, and it's got glass enclosure. The third location is the Chicago Bee. It's a public library building, but it started out in life as the Bee newspaper building. This was one of many newspapers in the black community we call Bronzeville. It went out of business by the end of the 1930s, and the building was kind of left and falling apart until the Chicago Public Library bought the building and created it into a branch libraries that we have. It's a gorgeous building with black and gold on the bottom in Art Deco design. It's really a spectacular building. All three of these buildings, these are what are called hidden gems in the book. These are buildings that are hidden in plain sight, that are really beautiful buildings that you ought to be able to go and appreciate. I know that when people come here, they are astonished by the city, and I think that the people who live here ought to be astonished in the same way.
All we can say is, wow, that was Ellen Shubart sharing with us a few of Chicago's hidden and maybe not so hidden gems. She's here with us now to tell us more about her new architecture book. Ellen, welcome.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me.
So great to have you here. And before we go any further, props to our Emmy-nominated drone team. You were saying you were amazed at what they were able to do, right?
Yes, those guys were just terrific. They were interested, they were fun. It was a lot of fun to be out with them.
They're a great duo. We love what you're doing. You're a historian by training. You're a docent by volunteerism. Why take things a step further and write this book about Chicago's architecture?
Well, there hasn't been a really comprehensive book for a very long time. We used to have some in the 70s. They're still sitting on my shelf at home. But it just seemed about time to do this kind of thing. Most of the architecture books that have come out recently are very oriented to a specific time or day. This is pretty much all the way along from 1871, the Water Tower, until the newest buildings today.
Wow, you really walk us through, you know, when we look at this, the book is subtitled Skyscrapers, Historic Landmarks, and Hidden Gems. As you said, it's been a long time since we've seen this. So what makes a building great to you to be included here?
Well, I said some of the adjectives that you put to a building automatically qualified them. The tallest, the largest, the best style example. But basically, it's what I think after having spent 15 years being a docent at the Architecture Center, and I think each one of them has something special to offer.
Yeah, and it's each unique way, right?
Yes.
Yeah. So you have thumbnail sketches of Chicago's 82 greatest. That's a lot. Which buildings are some of your favorites? You said we captured one of them here.
Oh, we absolutely did. I'm in love with the B building, and I think it's a shame that more people aren't aware of it. Among other things, it's not only a beautiful Art Deco building in a kind of a hidden area in Bronzeville, but it was also done by a black architect whose name was Errol, oh, now I got it wrong, Errol Smith, but he was an architect who did most of his work on the South Side, and this is just one of the buildings. I love all of these buildings. You know, it's like your kids. You can't pick out which one you love more. You love them differently and for different reasons. But I think one of the things that I found in doing the research for this book is Chicago is in love with mid-century modern, which is the style that Mies van der Rohe brought from Germany in the, well, they had developed it in the 1920s at the Bauhaus School of Modern Art, but then you bring it to Chicago, and after the war, it just booms. Everybody's got these glass and steel buildings.
Wow.
And some people would say, well, you look at them and what is it? But if you study them a little bit more and you look a little bit more, there's the nuance, and the philosophy is less is more. So that's the Federal Center and the Willis Tower and the John Hancock Building, and that style just spread all over the United States. So it's interesting.
So great work that you have here. I know it's not your first piece of work. Are you working on some other things right now?
Well, actually I am, and I'm not sure it's going to get done because it's being very difficult. I'm trying to work on a book about maps in Chicago because I'm very interested in Chicago history. I have a book out that's called Illustrated Timeline to Chicago's History, and then this one. And each time I just dive into Chicago history, and I love it because I think this is a fabulous city. And actually yesterday and the day before at Open House Chicago, where they opened up 230 sites, showed all over again why Chicago is such a great place.
Well, it is a fascinating city indeed, and the more we learn, thanks to people like you, the more intriguing it gets. So thank you for opening our eyes that much more.
Thank you very much.
Where can we find your book?
You can get it on Amazon, you can get it at Barnes & Noble, you can get it at the Chicago Architecture Center bookshop.
Okay, all right. Thanks so much for being here.
Thank you.
Really appreciate it.